What's up, everyone? Beast Mode back here with another video. So today I want to start off the video by making the announcement about War League once again. I'm sure most of you who follow the channel have seen the trailer that was posted a couple of days ago. It was made by Snack. She put a lot of time into the video, and it was a hype video made for Edison War League, which will be taking place on the Beast Mode Discord server. So the server is still going to be running the BCS tournaments. We're still going to be hosting those twice a month. They're free as always. We're probably going to be filling up much quicker now because we've had an influx of people to the server to participate in the Edison War League. So I will make a dedicated video discussing some of the basic rules. We're just going to go through this very quickly in terms of the War League. The policy is posted in the server, so if you want to join, I would recommend clicking the link in the description to join the server and partake in the first season of Edison War League. Again, I'll probably have a couple people on that I've been working with. I've had a group of probably 6 or 7 people: Insidious, JDZ, Fox, Snack, JG, 10-foot, just to name some. If I miss anybody, I'll definitely give a shout out in the next video. But we've had a tight group of people really putting this forward for everybody in the community because there's been a big demand. So again, I'll do a brief overview of some of the rules, or maybe we'll have some of the maybe JDZ or Insidious on the channel just to help explain some of them so people can be more familiar. But check out the policy. Free agency is starting May 1st. It's pretty much open now, but we'll be accepting team submissions May 1st. Roughly 2 weeks of free agency, and then we will be starting the season May 20th at 10 p.m. Eastern. That'll be week 1. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about War League right now. This Saturday, we're going to be having our BCS tournament. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. Signups will start at 6 p.m. You'll see a post from JG and W. He's the commentator with me on every stream. He usually sets up the tournament for us and starts sign up. So first come, first serve with that. It's free. Typically 32 players, what we're looking for. But if we have a massive influx of people who are signing up, we're just going to leave signups open for the hour, I think, and we'll just play with what we have. But could be 40 players. Hopefully we get to 32 again. That's the goal, but we'll see what happens with that. So I wanted to talk about this deck today because I actually played this at the Providence Regional. I went for side events. Unfortunately, they only had 2 of the LAD play mats. There was like 2 side events. That was it in terms of the retro formats, Time Wizard. So I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to have a little bit of fun with this deck and then maybe enter again with a little bit more serious deck. I wanted to be able to play a few of them to try different decks and just have some fun because I don't get out and play paper very often. So the reason why I really wanted to play this is because I actually have 2 Speed Duel Illblood, which look amazing. I just think they look really, really cool. And I know how much of a brick Illblood is, but I had 2 of them and I said there's no way I can't play them. So I actually tested this out a little bit on Dueling Book before I went. I played 10 matches or 10 games. I'm not sure, some combination of that. And I think I lost once, and it was pretty much because Christia hit the board one time on Dueling Book. So I think the deck is actually decent. So I felt confident enough in running it at the side event there. So I did play in, like I said, they had 2 flights and they ran simultaneously. So I had 1 shot at the mat. And unfortunately, the mats have like dropped so much in price anyway that it's not all that spectacular to even get anymore. Like they used to be like $300, and then you'd go there and get 3-4 of them and actually make some money. But now they're like $125. And the person that won the mat next to me actually played afterward. I played against them after the tournament, and they couldn't even like get rid of it for $100. So the prices are really dropping on them. I think there's just a lot of them out there in circulation, and a lot of people don't even really use the rubber mats. They play a lot of on the cloth mats. So anyway, this here, I played round 1. I played X-Sabers. End up winning game 1. Game 2, the player was kind of just not really into the game. I think they were playing in the main event too and like missequenced cards and pretty much just like scooped up game 2. But I don't know if I can't say if I was definitely going to win game 2 or not, but I was in a pretty decent position. Round 2, I played against Value Turbo. Good player. Ended up winning game 1. Game 2 was a pretty long game. I actually got deck devastated for like 3 or 4 cards turn like 1. And I was able to like grind back into the game, and I was playing very well around like Mirror Force. I had a Thought Ruler on the board, playing around Brain Control. I ended up making a Stardust to play around the Mirror Force that was set. And I believe they had like 1 card in hand. It was Brain Control, and they top decked Caius. So they brained my Stardust and then sacked for Caius and removed the Thought Ruler. And at that point, it was over for me because I was, also it was kind of like a low resource game at that point. Game three, we went back and forth. I had like a +4 on the player, but it was one of those games where it really got complicated game state where we each had like 5 spell and trap on the field, 5 cards in hand. Even though I had a lot more advantage at the time, it just wasn't amounting it to anything because they were like DD crows in my hand to try to hit values that weren't happening. So I really didn't. Essentially, I didn't really have much of an advantage, even though I had more cards because they just weren't doing anything. And then time was called, and unfortunately, at this event, they weren't going by the old school time rules. They didn't give the 4 turns. They just looked at life points, and whoever had higher life points won. And it was kind of a shame because it was a really good game. I would have liked to finish it with my opponent, and I ended up having more life points, so I won. But I can't say I definitely would have won or not. It was definitely one of those grindy games, and it was definitely a complicated game state. So it was fun. Whether I win or lose, I just like to have a good game. So, and I just didn't really care for the way that ended in terms of the time rule. I guess that's how new or current Yu-Gi-Oh is. The highest life points just win, which I just don't agree with because 40 minutes does sound like a lot of time, and I don't play a lot of paper, so maybe it is. Maybe I just was playing slow. I don't know. But, when it goes to game three, that's 10 minutes a game essentially. And, I was talking to Frazier about it. And when I thought about it, I was like, 40 minutes after side decking and shuffling, because you shuffle in between, because it's not like Dueling Book where everything is done for you. So there are some pluses where you can play cards a lot quicker in person, obviously, but then there's also the shuffling aspect where it's much longer, where you can just click the button Dueling Book and it shuffles for you. So I do think depending on the deck, like if you're playing Black Wings, 40 minutes is like you can finish 3 matches sometimes. But like I said, game 2 took a long time because I really probably shouldn't have even been in the game as long as I was because of the fact that I got Duck Devastator virus and I was really mounting a comeback. So that took a while. But anyway, I went to the finals and played against Black Wings, and the deck kind of just bricked. I think I saw double Illblood, and my opponent milled. I actually summoned a Card Trooper. I remember them brain controlling my Card Trooper and milling. This was like turn 2 of the game. Milled double Icarus attack. So I said, okay, well, it's the first 10 cards of the game and 2 Icarus are gone, so I probably don't have to play so cautiously around them. And they end up setting a back row, and it was an Icarus attack. He even mentioned it to me. He knew that the card was hidden well because of the fact that you make a read, you're probably not reading Icarus attack. If there was 3 in the first 10 cards, kind of unlikely. So I kind of got blown out. I ended up getting 2-0'd. This deck, the one problem with this deck, and I will say, is that it's even slower than the Pyramid Turtle build and Mystic Tomato build, like the Recruiter build. I know this does have Recruiters in it, but it's even slower because this deck's goal is to actually use Illblood the way it was designed to be used. It's not like when I typically run the 1 Illblood, I usually just allure it away. This deck here, I was actually tributing for Illblood and normal summoning it and actually using its effect. And this is why I played the triple Wing Blast, because when you do draw the Illbloods, it's easier to just pitch them in the graveyard and then book a life and actually normal summon them. So a lot of the common plays I would do would be get Illblood in the graveyard. And I guess I could have played Foolish for that too, but I wanted to cut Burial and Foolish because I feel like sometimes those cards are they don't do enough. Where I would rather just have Wing Blast to really bounce back a Royal Oppression or a Stardust or a Synchro or whatever. But what I would do is I'd often Illblood normal summon or Book of Life Illblood normal summon and then summon the Pyramid Turtle, crash Pyramid Turtle, and grab a fresh zombie out of the deck. So they're no longer linked with the Illblood anymore. So I think this deck is a little bit better now in terms of hero beat matchup because that deck it's one of those decks where they can just kill you in 3 turns if they draw the right cards. Summon Alias, attack, Gemini Spark, attack. Turtle into Illblood is actually decent against that deck because it outs the Alias and obviously they have to waste an Honest or something to stop it. So do I think this deck is amazing? No, I do think it's good enough to win. Because I did win with it after the Time Wizard event. I actually played against the Blackwing player who won the other Time Wizard event, and we played 2 matches and we split. I played the Plant Rose Warrior deck that won 3 or 4 side events in Los Angeles. I 2-0'd that deck 4 or 5 times in a row with this. Wasn't not even close. I did get 1 game in against Joe Giolando, which is an old school friend, and we didn't have time to finish the match. And he actually had game on board, but I dropped Trag and was able to reverse OTK. So that's not saying a whole lot, but the deck can definitely hang. Side deck here is a little odd, but I don't actually have a lot of in-person cards, so I kind of had to play with what I had. I have enough cards to make cores of other decks, but I have to pull cards from each deck to complete one whole deck. Double Compulse was so good, especially against a value player. Definitely good. Double Dust, I didn't get to see them against the Blackwing player. I put in Double Dust, double. Actually, I don't even remember if I was side decking Dust Tornadoes in the actual event. I don't know if I updated this extra deck, but it's very similar. Side deck, it's very similar. I know I had double Starlight Road in, and I never saw one. The changes I would make is I would cut a Wing Blast, definitely. I think the deck definitely needs a Dust Tornado in the main board, without a doubt. The Zombie Worlds never came up, but they're probably better off just being maybe Master Restricts, and then you can cut the double Caius and the Illbloods. You don't necessarily have to cut both Illbloods, but anyway, like I said, shout outs to my opponents in the Time Wizard events. Yeah, they were really cool. Everybody's like really cool playing old school Edison. I feel bad against the value player again. It was crap that we went to Time and that was a win like that. But definitely a strong duelist, and hard to say what the outcome would have been of that. If you guys are going to Philly, I definitely want to play in person. I'm going to be there Saturday, Saturday only. I'm going to try to play in some side events with some different decks. But if you want to have any card sign, I'm also going to have people sign my cards, just because, I see so many of you guys on Discord and want to put names to faces and all that. So again, I really just want to make this video just to showcase this deck really quick. Do I think it'll win a RBET? I do think that it's possible I could top an RBET with this deck. I do. Do I think that it's amazing? No, but I think it's fun. And I do think you could probably win the locals with it. So, again, I want to talk a little about the War League. Join the Discord server, and you guys come and hang out for the Beast Mode Circuit Series on Saturday. And I'll see you all in the next one.